Taylor Swift departs BC Place Stadium following her farewell concert in Vancouver. Taylor Swift finally hit the stage for her last engagement of her Vancouver tour. However, once the event concluded, Taylor Swift waved to her supporters before departing. The pop artist, 34, graced the stage at BC Place in Vancouver, Canada, on Sunday, December 8th, which marked her penultimate engagement of the tour. In a sad moment, Swift performed a 3-song mashup for the Sunday surprise song, delivering lucky fans a performance of Love Life, blended with New Year's Day and the Anguished Poets Department extra track, The Manuscript. As one fan pointed out via X, her last surprise song on the Eras tour was pretty fitting. First surprise song, Tim McGraw. Last surprise song, The Manuscript, the first and last song in her catalog. Swift also paid honor to her long-running tour by rewriting the lyrics of Long Live from "It was the end of a decade" to "It was the end of an era / but the start of an age." Closing off the event, Swift thanked fans for being a part of the most thrilling chapter of my life to date, my beloved Eras tour. The pop star then segued into one last song, Karma, lifted from 2022's Midnights. As she has done throughout the tour, she offered a small shout-out to her boyfriend, Travis Kelce, by singing Karma is the Guy on the Chiefs. Swift began up the Eras tour in Glendale, Arizona, in March 2023, playing across the United States until August 2023. The artist then went on the international phase of the tour, making stops in South America, Asia, Australia, and Europe from November 2023 until this August. In October, Swift returned to North America for a handful of farewell gigs in the US and Canada. In conclusion, Swift played 149 sold-out gigs across 5 continents over the span of almost 2 years, making the Eras tour the highest-grossing tour of all time. Swift recently talked out to Time in December 2023 about her aim to super-serve the fans with her largest tour yet. The 3.5-hour event carried spectators through her artistic periods with a mammoth 45-song lineup, which, following the April release of the Tortured Poets Department, featured classics from her newest album and an appearance from her NFL star lover. They had to work really hard to get the tickets, she stated at the time. I wanted to play a show that was longer than they ever thought it would be, because that makes me feel good. Leaving the arena, Swift exclaimed that the Eras tour made her the most satisfied I've ever felt in my life. I know I'm going on that stage whether I'm ill, wounded, sad, uncomfortable, or worried, she continued. That's part of my identity as a human being today. If someone buys a ticket to my concert, I'm going to play it, unless we have some type of force majeure. In June, Swift revealed that the tour will come to a conclusion in December, calling the undertaking the most exhausting, all-encompassing, but most joyful, most rewarding, most wonderful thing that has ever happened in my life. I think that this tour has really become my entire life, she concluded. It's taken over everything. I assume I previously had interests, but I don't remember what they were anymore. All I do when I'm not on stage is sit at home and try to conceive up smart acoustic song mashups and think about what you would like to hear. Amid her record-breaking tour, Swift achieved a bevy of professional accomplishments, including the chart-topping releases of her 11th studio album, The Tortured Poets Department, which inspired her to revamp her entire show to include the new music, and her re-recordings of Speak Now, Taylor's version, and 1989, Taylor's version. Additionally, she assured that the tour would live on for years to come via her concert video. Swift has also faced with various upheavals in her personal life since the Eras tour started, with the most significant being her relationship with Kelce, 35, which began when he attended one of her performances in the summer of 2023. Taylor Swift circled the corners of her gigantic stage, arms spread in her magenta shawl, as the closing chords of her last Eras tour performance entered the dazzling history of her career. Clasping hands with her support singers and dancers, she closed the most adored chapter of my life, she remarked. Sunday night was also one of the most remarkable excursions in pop music history, doing it as always her way. No guests, no additional tunes. Just Swift in the limelight, trading love with her fans like a musical friendship bracelet. She brought the gathering on one final spectacular excursion, which she claimed had been enjoyed with more than 10 million people since her live spectacle started. Throughout the act, Swift was as much a polished professional as she was a sweetie, hitting her marks with furious accuracy and then mouthing, I Love You to her backup dancers. At the end of You Belong With Me, Swift's farewell, the 149th performance on her billion-dollar earning Eras tour, arrived at Vancouver's BC Place Stadium with the same engrossing mix of precise songcraft, spiffy production, and cool glam as when she first unveiled her live opus 21 months ago in Glendale, Arizona. That night, jaws fell at the revelation that when Swift claimed she meant to portray all of the musical periods in her then 17-year career, she didn't mean a hackneyed 2-hour mix of medleys. No, Swift's brilliance notion and the final reward to loyal supporters who rocketed her from successful country pop chanteuse to the most colossal of stars was a meticulously prepared 3.5-hour career review unlike anything ever seen on a concert stage. I've never done this many shows, Swift revealed during her 3 sold-out Canadian nights, but you guys have made it such a wonderful experience. Swift's effortless accessibility, one of her most appealing attributes, was on show Sunday, from the time she welcomed fans with her normal, oh hi, and a red lipstick smile. Between the opening salvo of Miss Americana and the Heartbreak Prince and the #1 smash, Cruel Summer, crowd ovations were frequent and prolonged. Not that there haven't been outpourings of unconditional adoration at every show. Whenever she bats her cat-lined eyes or tilts her head with a combination of gratitude and amusement, but the sustained roar at the end of Champagne Problems, as Swift sat behind her moss-covered piano, bangs damp against her forehead, was nearly as long as the 4-minute song. With an unusual smile and wet eyes, Swift marveled at the waves of oral adoration, pulling out her ear monitors to completely hear the overpowering sound. After reminding the audience of the commitment of her band and crew, Swift grinned and thanked the crowd. "We will never forget you guys giving us that moment," she stated. Swift teared up a few times, clearly aware that today represented the last black hat she put on a fortunate kid's head during 22 and her last chance to playfully waggle her hips in a short sequin skirt to shake it off. The 9 eras of Swift's show captivated with their own personalities. The vengeful red and black snake motif of Reputation and its snarling, "Look What You Made Me Do," and the monochrome Hollywood glam of the Tortured Poets Department. A May edition after she dropped the 30-track album in April, with its stoic drum line during The Smallest Man Who Ever Lived and the visceral discotheque that is I Can Do With a Broken Heart, among the highlights. But the element of the Eras tour that has enthralled fans of Swift's huge repertoire and driven repeated attendances, regardless of ticket price, is her surprise songs, one on acoustic guitar and one behind her flower-decorated piano. At Saturday's final concert, Swift invited protege and show opener Gracie Abrams to share the stage for a mashup of I Love You, I'm Sorry, and Last Kiss, which finished with tight embraces between the pals.